knew I had one broke, but I thought...
Hi, I'm Matt, and this is Procrastination Garage. The last episode of Procrastination Garage ended with us camped in the Little Natchez Snow Park on a Friday night. Here it is Saturday morning. I had some friends come up and join me for a ride. Both weather and snow conditions were really good, and our destination was the top of Greens Pass. The reason we were headed to the top of Greens Pass is because the local groomer, who is also a friend, had set up a meet and greet with snowmobilers and track UTV riders coming in from different directions. Just wanted to show that all the trail systems could connect up. Also, the tracked UTV guys brought up hot dogs and hamburgers and fixed lunch for everybody. That was really nice. After the lunch and some chit-chat, our group decided to head on over to the Snowmad's warming hut, which is over on the I-90 corridor. None of us had ever been there, nor had we even been on the trails to get there. It was a fun adventure. I also camped in the snow park on Saturday night, and on Sunday, another group of friends came up. There were great-grandparents, there were the parents, and there were the kids, and we rode out to Government Meadows. It was a fun day. The weather wasn't quite as nice. You can see the meadow was pretty foggy, but we had a great time.
Go out there close to the mat and hold your hand out. Courtney.
No, she just can't do it. Just getting ready to land on you. It's Sunday evening, around 4:30 in the afternoon, and we're racing home, trying to get home before dark because we don't have any tail lights on the trailer still. I think I mentioned that. If I didn't mention it, it happened on Friday on the way up. And when I got up to the camp, I did some investigation, and what I determined was I have brake lights, I have turn signals, I just don't have the lights, you know, the running lights on the trailer or on my camper. So it's not the end of the world, but I want to get home before dark because I don't want to turn on my running lights if I don't have to on the truck, because that's a dead giveaway they're not working on the trailer. And as you can see, I'm pushing it now because everybody already has their lights on. Luckily, this truck has DRLs, daytime running lights, so I have headlights on all the time. Had a great weekend up in the snow park. Rode with a group of friends yesterday, and then rode with a different group of friends today. Yesterday we covered 70 miles, I don't know if I mentioned that, on my brand new snowmobile. And then today, I don't know, I haven't looked, maybe 25, 30 maybe. Today was more of a family style ride. We just rode out to Government Meadows cabin. I'm sure you saw some video of that already. Anyway, starting tomorrow, got to start getting ready for this upcoming weekend's chili ride. So looking forward to that. So we'll see you then.
Hi there, YouTube friends. Hey, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe, tell all your friends, and leave me a comment down below. I'd appreciate it. Thanks. It's Tuesday morning around 9:30 a.m. and just finished prepping some chili. It's in the crock pot. We'll simmer all day. This is batch 1 of 3. Do on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then head out on Friday for our camping trip. Got lots of stuff to do today. Not sure what I'm going to get to. But this was the important thing, getting the chili started. Yesterday, my trip to Walmart and Fred Meyer and everywhere I went on my Hot Wheel hunt, I did wrap up most of my purchasing, bought hot dogs and all the stuff for the event on Saturday. The only thing I don't have is hot dog buns. Figured I'd wait till closer to the event so they're fresher. So that's it for the moment. Hopefully get back and show you some other stuff later today.
It's about 10:45. Just got my hair cut. Wouldn't you like to see it? Yeah, you will, probably. Anyway, instead of headed home, I'm actually headed to Harbor Freight. At our Snowmobile Club meeting last night, we agreed to purchase 2 strings of LED lights to put up inside of our pop-up tent. Last trip out, we used my lights, and that worked really good. The problem is that I had my Christmas lights set up on my camper last time, and this trip I'll be wanting to use those LED lights. So we'll buy a set just for the club. So that's what the plan is. I'll show you when I get them. It's Tuesday afternoon around 2 p.m. and maybe you can see it's starting to snow a little bit, kind of a rain-snow mix. Kind of a gloomy day. So instead of working on the trailer lights, which we have to do between now and Friday, we're working on other stuff, mainly swapping sleds around. I need to get my new gray sled out because it's not able to tow, and I need to be able to tow that this weekend. And so I need to put the black one back in there, and I need to put my daughter's sled in there. So once those 2 sleds are in, and then we'll move the back ends of each over towards the sidewall, and then this tag along can slide up between them, and then we'll completely load it with firewood. I had loaded it about halfway before the last adventure last weekend. Didn't use any firewood, so we'll fill that to the top and then slide it back in there. And then I don't know if you can see it, our little fire pit there, that'll go on top, as will a tarp. And then Friday we're going to take a load of wood up to the location that we're going to have the chili ride on Saturday, and we're going to dump the firewood, the tarp, and the little burn container there. All right, feeling pretty confident. It's about 3:30 in the afternoon. Got 2 sleds moved around. You saw that. Got my daughter's in there. Got my old one in there. All set up to tow. Made sure the tow hitch and all the parts pieces are there. And then I filled the little tag along up with wood to the top, but I was able to get the lid closed. And then I put the fire pit on top of it on a tarp and strapped it down. And the idea is that when we get up to the site where we're going to unload the wood on Friday, lay down a tarp, put the wood down, throw the tarp over the top of it, and that'll make sure it stays dry until Saturday. So we still got a lot of work to do, but that was one big chunk. So tomorrow we'll start inventorying what we need for bowls and plates and silverware and all that kind of stuff. Double check what we've got for food. I made up a master list, a couple of years ago, so I need to dig that out and look it over. Hot dog sticks, just lots of things, But again, still got 2 days. And of course, still haven't addressed the lights, the wiring issue on the truck. And it is the truck because the camper also doesn't have any lights, and they both plug into the same plug on the back of the truck. So the problem is somewhere from the plug back up to the fuse box. It's probably right there at the back bumper. We'll figure that out probably tomorrow. So that's it. I've got to get ready to go to another snowmobile club meeting tonight. Had one last night, another one tonight. Different clubs, of course. So let's do it. It's Wednesday morning, around 11:30 a.m. And there's Bear just coming across the grass. He's probably been out hunting mice or something. Who knows with that cat. Anyway, so time to get back to prepping for the weekend. And really our number one goal today, right now, is to figure out why we have no trailer tail lights. So I don't know if I told you Friday when I was up in the snow park, I did some preliminary investigation. What I determined was that not only did I not have lights to the trailer, but I didn't have them to the camper. Both of them plug into the back of the truck, which tells me the problem is not in either the camper or the trailer. It's probably at the truck. So I popped the hood, I checked the fuse up under the hood visually, and it looked good, but I didn't have a meter with me. So yesterday I went to Harbor Freight, and you used to be able to buy a little analog meter for $6. Well, now for the same $6, $8, you can get a digital meter. Is that funny or what? So that's what I did, is I bought a little digital meter. So let's pop the hood, we'll pull that fuse back out, we'll check continuity on that, and then we'll start looking for voltage and see where we lose it. All right, see that little fuse down there missing the cap? I don't think that cap's supposed to come off, but when I was trying to get it out with a pair of pliers, that's what happened. But when I touch it, either there, you can see I've got, well, it's not 12 volts, but it's reading voltage. And then if I move it over to the other one, that one there, same thing. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that fuse. So we're gonna go look elsewhere. I should buy a couple of these fuses to have as spares. That's just a really odd fuse. Maybe somebody can tell me why it's such an odd fuse. So for shits and giggles, I came over to this other battery, and it's reading about the same. It's under 12 volts. So I don't know if that meter is just not giving me a correct reading, or it's possible both these batteries are on their way out. I think I've replaced them since I've owned this truck. But, it's a 2016, and diesels suck a lot of power. And this one here, look at it. It definitely needs to be cleaned. But that's not what we're working on today. Did I find the problem? I don't know, but I found a problem. So at first when I saw this little wire right here, I thought it had just been capped off. I didn't think much of it. But then when I got to looking, you can see there's a broken wire right there. And see that brown wire right there? That thing's almost all the way through. So this is the truck wiring here. And I've actually replaced this pigtail here, which comes back to here. So I was hoping I could just buy a new pigtail here, all this assembly, and just plug it in to the factory wiring, but this wiring is no good right here. So I'm gonna head down to the parts store, see if I can find, I guess, a universal RV plug and just wire each wire manually. I really hate doing that, but I don't want to try and deal with these little pin out things. I've never had any experience with them, and I don't really want to learn now. I'd like to just get this fixed. So I'm not finding the voltage I need in here, but like I said, the more I look at this, I think my problem is probably right there, which makes me wonder. I wonder if I could find a pigtail that has both pieces, and then I could just rewire this piece and then plug in. I don't know. Let's go to the parts house, see what we can find. It's just about 4 p.m. and honestly, the day kind of got away from us. I actually spent most of the day, afternoon, working on getting ready for the weekend, doing more prep work. So I went to O'Reilly's. I bought these two things here, which I think will allow me to do a nice fix. Also filled up a couple of propane tanks next door at Helms, and returned the riveter that I bought last week that I was all enamored with that broke after the 5th rivet. Anyway, so here's where we're at. This here is the old truck plug. This is one that had one wire that was completely broken and another one that was close. So I just went ahead and snipped it, left enough in there so I can see the colors. This is exactly what I've got on the truck right now. I've installed one of these already. Now see, this plug there plugs right into there, which would be awesome if this was any good, and it's not. And I looked around to see if I could buy just this piece, and nope. Nobody had that. Well, I won't say nobody, but they didn't have it at O'Reilly's, and I doubt they carried it anyway. But what I did find was this little inline thing that lets you add a 4 or 5 flat to your RV plug. So let me get out and show you. So here's what it does. This piece here is basically just like this piece here. So what you do is you unplug your RV plug, which probably would be like this, off of the vehicle. And then you plug this one into it, which feeds the 4 or 5 flat wire. But then wires go in and turn around and come back out this one, and that allows you to plug your RV plug back into it. So what I thought was, I need this right here. That's a replacement for this. So I was looking at it in the store there. It's got all the wires there. So if I just come back, well, a couple of them will go over to here. So basically, if I cut them off over here, and the other ones that go back this way, I cut them off even, that gives me a little bit of a pigtail to work with, which I will wire into the other end of these that I cut. So that'll get me back to the factory plug that I can just plug that into, which gives me an RV plug, but also a flat 4-wire, which I need for my camper. So after I bottled this and got home, I just decided that, you know what, this would be a better project to start first thing in the morning or mid-morning or something. And that I would just go ahead and put it off till tomorrow. I mean, I basically have everything I need right there, except for some wire connections, which I have down in the shop. So tonight what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get this piece ready and make sure the colors match. And if they don't match, I will mark them so I know where they go. And then tomorrow, all we got to do is, in fact, I'll get my wire strippers and maybe I'll go ahead and strip these. So I just need to strip the ones on the end of the truck and start putting things together. Now, there is a bit more of a project in that this piece here has to be mounted to a bracket, probably all rusted. The bracket unbolts easily, especially now that there's no wiring hooked up to it. So I'll probably just pull that off and do whatever I need to do to be able to install this. So that'll be tomorrow's project. That'll be Thursday. See you then. Hey, it's Thursday afternoon, a little after 1 p.m. And yeah, you probably think I've been slacking all day, and I've been slacking a little bit, but I actually went and finished up all the shopping and everything. Anyway, last night I got this prepped. This is a part that needs to go underneath the truck. I went ahead and I put some little crimp connectors, the kind that have the heat shrink on them. Thanks to my brother for giving me those. He actually saw me use connectors in a video and decided that I'd better have the ones with the heat shrink built onto them, and he's right. I actually had a few of them, but I rarely use them. But this is a perfect time to be using them, so thank you, brother. Anyway, need to get down. And can you see them? Yeah, there's the wires right there. I need to get them all the same length, and I need to get them stripped, and then we got to match up colors. Most of the colors matched up. A couple of them did not. So I went ahead and marked them based on what they are in the old connector, and so everything should go together just fine. And I'm thinking, even though I bought a whole new RV plug to mount on the truck here, I don't know for sure that there's anything wrong with this one. We'll go ahead and plug it in once I get the wiring done, and we'll see what happens. So what do you think? All the connections are made. Everything's crimped. Everything's heat shrunk. So I was going to plug into the old harness here, but in looking at it, I don't know if you can see up in there. And you can see on that ground, it's got some green on it. And then I realized that I've tapped into it in a couple places, like that little Scotch lock connector there. So I may hold on to this. I may check it, see if I can clean it up, and then use it on the motorhome, because I need one on the motorhome. But for now, we're going to go ahead and plug the new one right there into it, and then we're going to hook the trailer up and see what we got. Everything's connected. Let's turn on the lights and see. At first blush, we're doing all right. I've got the left turn signal on. Let's hope we have a left turn signal light. And we do. All right, I'll check out the right and the brake lights, and I'll let you know. All the lights seem to be working okay. So now what we're going to do, this bracket here, which is what this is hooked onto, has 2 bolts holding it. If we remove those 2 bolts, we can pull this whole assembly off and then take it down inside the shop where it's a little nicer and swap out this, and then we'll come back up and plug this one in and we should be done. I should have mentioned that I'm going to warm up some electrical tape and then we'll wrap that up too so it looks a little prettier. I've been working down here in the shop and I finally got the old wiring released from this rusty mess here, and pretty much I had to grind everything. You can see ground bolts there. I was using the air powered cutoff wheel, but I couldn't reach all of it, so I've got the nicest little attachment for my Dremel. It's a carbide bit and it'll basically cut through anything, so that's what we did. So now we need to figure out how we're going to get this one mounted to that, and then we got to figure out how we're going to mount this back to the truck. Oh, I didn't show you guys the bolts right here and here. Yep, they broke off. Piece of cake. So I'm not worried about where they broke off. I may just drill 2 new holes next to it and tap it. I can't get a nut on the other side because it's a square piece of tubing, no way in there. So either we'll tap it or we'll screw it, or I don't know. I'll let you know. There, it's mounted. Okay, as it turns out, the last one, this one here, is also Hopkins brand. So these holes line up with the holes that I had drilled in this already. And it's not pretty. These 2 here are good. These 2 here, they really weren't going into any of the metal from this, so I've kind of got a washer overlapping, tighten everything up. I thought about putting some anti-seize on these little bolts because they're just going to rust and corrode right away. But at the end of the day, I was like, you know what? Who cares? It's easy to grind them. What'll be more important are these 2 to mount this piece back to the frame to get some anti-seize on them. But first, we got to figure out what we're going to do. Drill some holes. I don't suppose there's any way I can get those other ones, the broken ones, out. And why should I even waste any time? Let's find some bolts and see if we can drill some holes and tap them. I found a couple 1/4 20 bolts. I'm going to use those. So I drilled new holes here because these holes are way too big, and these actually aren't big enough yet. But this is a pretty sharp drill bit, so I'm going to use these to drill the pilot holes up into the frame, and then I'll open them up. I'm not sure what size I need to open them up to. At least 7/32, probably the 15/64 in order to thread it. And then I'll open these up to 1/4 inch, and then everything will go together. Easy peasy. New holes are drilled and tapped right next to the old ones. And the mounts there drilled out to 1/4 inch. Got my anti-seize, gonna put that on my bolts and thread them in. I didn't realize it till I got this all mounted up, but I screwed up. So this piece here is in upside down. The cap is at the bottom. It should be at the top, which means the 4 wire should be on the left. Easy fix. Not doing it tonight. It'll make it through this trip just fine. No harm, no foul. I should have been paying closer attention, but hey, you know what? It happens. Anyway, you can see got the tail lights on. I have camper lights. I have all my camper lights, which is pretty good because I didn't have all my camper lights before. One of them, no, actually 2 of them I think had bad grounds, but they fixed themselves. Anyway, got lights on the trailer, got tail lights on the trailer, got turn signals on the trailer. So we're happy. We are good to go. We're ready for tomorrow. So still got a little bit of loading up to do, some food and some clothes items. I'll put some tools away, but we're done out here. It's about 4 o'clock. So see you tomorrow. Here it is, Friday afternoon, and it's obvious I did a really poor job of videoing on this day. Not only did I not do any video when I left the house, I didn't do anything driving up to the campsite or setting up camp. Here we are up at the location of the chili ride. We just unloaded the firewood, taking a break, and getting ready to head back to camp for the night. It's Saturday morning, and we're marking the trail into the chili ride location. So you move yours into the center.
Okay. Okay, do you want to give a little update?
It's probably 9:30-ish.
Sure.
We're starting to set up for the chili ride. Gonna start serving at 11. We've got to get a fire going. We've got to get the chili cooking. Got to get the hot chocolate ready to go. So we got a little bit of work, but we'll have it ready by 11 a.m.
And we're doing it in style.
In style.
We discovered one of the skis on my little trailer had flattened itself on the way up. This means that it wouldn't set level, which means I couldn't get my table to set up level. So here we are trying to level it by putting snow underneath the ski. Setup continues. I'm organizing my box, trying to get my camp stove set up and get the chili cooking. Johnny's trying to build a fire, and everybody's got a task to do.
I like that we have service because then I can post.
Riders started showing up at 11, and it wasn't long before we had nearly 40 people hanging around, cooking hot dogs, eating chili, and just having a good time talking. It was a fun afternoon. Before we knew it, the event was over. We quickly cleaned up, gathered up our remaining firewood, and headed towards the snow park. Of course, there was one snafu on the way down. On Sunday, we had a few riders come up for the day and join us for a ride. Gorgeous weather. Just check it out.
She's sweet as candy. I know you wanna be with her, but Josie got a reputation to scratch behind that fur. She's got her little game perfected. She'll let you think you have control, and then one day when you least expect it, she'll steal away your soul. It's so easy when you think you're winning, but she's got herself another plan. Don't think you're being clever like a modern man, but
Sunday afternoon, and camp has been all broken down. Trucks are warming up, getting ready to leave.
Just left the campsite after a great weekend up here on White Pass, the Cold Creek Snow Park. So this may be some repeat stuff. I don't know how much narration I'm gonna do or what kind of video I've got. I didn't take much video this weekend at all. Yeah, bad me. My daughter, I know she took some video yesterday. So this was the weekend of our chili ride. I know you know that. We had 60 people show up yesterday for hot dogs and chili. That was a good thing. That's the most we've had. This is the third year we've done this. First year we had over 30. Last year it was really cold. We had, I don't know, 15, 20. Anyway, this year we were a little over 60, so that was great. Highlights of the weekend, we set up our tent again, our 10 by 20 pop-up. That was a very nice place to gather. Towing my little tag-along trailer up on Friday, we hauled firewood up, and then Saturday we hauled all the food up, and on the way up yesterday, it collapsed. The left ski, right ski, one of the skis. And then coming back, I tipped it over once and spilled chili all over the inside of it, some leftover chili. So I've got a big cleanup mess ahead there. So that's about it. Good time with friends. We've got one weekend that's a break where we don't have any events going on. Hopefully we'll go snowmobiling. And then the weekend after that, another ski bender bit, which is the poker ride. And my daughter and I man a checkpoint at that. So I'm going to need a tag-along working by then, but either I'll fix this one. My friend who's up here camping with us, Ron, he's going to loan me one, and then I've got another one I can work on. We'll see. Anyway, that's it. So when we came in Friday, this road makes a loop around the Highway 12, and we're coming out the top side. It's me, and then behind me is Johnny. Other friend Ron, he's going to go out the way we came in. And the way we came in, man, it was slick. I mean, this road is basically a sheet of ice, and there was a light rain going on Friday, making it even slipperier. A couple of those climbs, I made them, but I wasn't sure Johnny was going to make them because he's got just a half-ton pickup with no weight in the back, really, and he's towing a big, heavy toy hauler trailer. But he made it, and then Ron's got a motorhome, two-wheel drive, but he's got a lot of weight over the dual wheels, and he had no problem getting in. Anyway, so we decided to go off the top because we thought this road might be a little better, less downhill, a little safer. It had some pretty good downhills on it, but we're past that. Almost out to Highway 12. So anyway, gonna wrap this up, and hopefully you'll see it in the video soon. I don't know. You know, this, nobody cares, but the last video I did for Procrastination Garage that went up on the site was when Ron and I were taking down the cottonwood trees, and that was like October, November. Now I've been doing a lot of videoing since then, but nothing's gone up except for the Vlogmas stuff over Christmas, if you watched it. So I need to get a video up soon, in fact the next day or two. But again, by the time you guys see this, because it is currently, as I'm videoing this, we are January 12th. So keep that in mind when this video comes out. Let's see how long it is. You'll probably see it in June or something. But anyway, you'll get it when you get it. So see ya.
Alrighty, guys and gals. We've reached the end of another episode of Procrastination Garage. Hope you enjoyed it. Do me a favor, if you haven't already, hit the like button, and I hope you subscribe. Leave me a comment down below and let me know the projects you're working on, or better yet, the ones you're procrastinating about, because I know I'm not the only one out here doing it. I'm pretty much on schedule. This one probably will be a day late. Just, man, there's been so much going on. I've been sick too. You can probably hear it in my voice. That didn't stop me from going snowmobiling 4 days last week, which didn't help either. But I'm starting to feel a little bit better now. So anyway, expect us to be back on a weekly schedule. So remember, this is Procrastination Garage. My name is Matt, and we'll see you next week, or really darn close to it. Thanks.